How old are you?
I'm 28.
28. What does it mean to be a man in 2026?
Well, in my honest opinion, being a man is about, well, you just gotta be the positive change that you want to see in the world, and um, you gotta find purpose, and you gotta find your way in the world and make it a better place with the abilities and skills that you have.
And do you think masculinity is under attack?
Yes, absolutely,
Why is that?
100%.
Why do you think that?
Well, if you well, I am a Christian, and it's rooted in Christian belief that the masculine man should lead, and the wife should be submissive to the man, and a nuclear family and society cannot function unless the man is leading, and I feel like we. Maybe it's a Western problem, but I feel like in the West they sort of try to get rid of this tradition where the man leads, and it's led to a lot of problems. I think most of the world's problems today is because of the lack of good masculinity as opposed to toxic masculinity. It's very easy to confuse the two, but yeah.
But don't you think as time change and we evolve as people, we constantly need to adapt?
Um, yeah, I'd say we're not perfect beings, but I feel like well, I don't want to delve in too much, but I feel like there's a reason masculinity is under attack. There's a reason for it. It's not just randomly happening. We do need to evolve, but we also must not lose ourselves. You know, trying to do too much, basically.
So who taught you how to be a man?
Well, it was actually well, it wasn't my father. Um, my parents were busy workers when I was growing up, trying to provide for us, that I sort of had to make my own way in this world. Made a lot of mistakes, but also learned a lot because I was forced to mature quickly. And everything I know about being a man, I was taught the hard way, basically.
So if you don't mind me asking, what sort of mistakes did you make?
Well, mistakes is in how I treated my friends, how I treated women, how I treated life, how the kind of the paths I went down, and yeah, I just had to get by with a lot of trial and error. There was a lot of error, obviously, but through that I became stronger, and I think I'm basically in the peak of my life now, thanks to that. In hindsight, I think it was needed.
So what? If can you give some of the lessons you've learned from making those mistakes?
Lessons I've learned: well, take care of your body. Number one, stop watching porn as a man. Porn and masturbation is the worst enemy a man has. I think as a man you need to keep your testosterone up at all times, because it's your life force as a man, and with that life force you have ambition, you have drive, you have energy, you have emotional control, you have impulse control, you have everything in order if you have your testosterone. But if you're always on those websites and by yourself, and you're giving in to these temptations, you're how you view relationships with women, sex, life, it all gets tainted, basically, if you give in to that every day. That's why porn is free, because that's what I mean by the attack on masculinity. Porn is free because they want men to be weak. And the weaker men are, the worse the world is. What's the saying goes?
Hard times.
Yeah, hard times create good, strong men. Strong men. No, sorry. Hard times.
Yeah, hard times.
Yeah, no. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. and then weak men create hard times, and then the cycle repeats where men have to rise up and to be strong again. I think where we are in the world now is that because the man has been strong for a long time, they're now starting to go back in that phase of being weak again, and now we have so much weakness. You know, that's why we have so much going wrong with the world, like war, you know, divorces, just degenerate behavior, all this, and you know, it's a crazy world we live in these days, and I think that's because of a lack of real masculinity.
So, do you think social media plays a huge part in that?
Absolutely.
Because I don't want to drop some names, but you know the sort of people I'm talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we need to get rid of, we need to reject technology altogether. Not completely, but you know, if you ask anyone, if you look at pictures from the 90s and the 80s, I think that was the peak of human civilization. You could just see by people's body language and their behavior and their face that they're so healthy and so happy and so living in the moment. You know, back in the day, you know, people would go out, see their friends in person, live a very social life, have a good work-life balance. And then they'd come home and then they'd open up their computer or their Game Boy or their Atari, their little piece of technology, as a little escape in their living room to the world of technology. Now it's opposite. Now we're all on our phones all day. We're glued to them. Our faces are glued to our screens all day, 24/7, 7 days a week, 365. And then what people do is that they turn off their phones and their Wi-Fi and they go out as an escape from that world. It's completely changed, done complete 180. And social media is like the foundation of that. We need to completely get rid of it because social media makes people compare themselves to other people that are completely different from them. And comparison is the thief of joy and it ruins everything, honestly. I think we should just reject it altogether. Unless you want to start a business or you want to promote something, I think having a social media for social use is counterintuitive.
One question I want to ask is, why do you think there's a lack of positive role models in the world right now? Especially with men as well.
There's a lack of role models because men and women are not being taught the right way, the wisdom on how to live life correctly. You know, we don't have any role models because any good role models anymore because everyone's so divided and we just can't seem to agree on anything. So these days the idea of a role model is subjective and it's all about perspective now because everyone's so divided. So a role model should be someone that everyone can listen to and everyone can follow. But if we're all divided, then there's no point really of having role models. It's just about joining factions now, basically.
And what is a message you tell or give to a young man watching this right now?
Young man, well,
Especially who does not have someone positive to look up to.
It depends because these days people only believe and follow and see what they want to see and believe and follow. You know, it's like it's all inflicted. You know, like people who have a certain attitude and who are a certain way will only see and believe what they want to see despite what's in front of them. So my advice to all the young men out there is just, find your purpose. Question everything. Do not just. I think the education system failed us. I think school is about conditioning kids to do an 8 to 3 so that they will do a 9 to 5 and pay taxes for the rest of their life. I think humans are meant for more than that. So for the men, I think men should get both hands on the steering wheel again. I think we need to start creating good men again. For the men, just question everything. Do not just fall for what people tell you, especially when you're at a young and impressionable age. Um, you know, go out and see the world, and and treat everyone how you want to be treated. That's first and foremost. And also, and obviously, just do not give in to lust. Quit porn. Do not masturbate. OnlyFans is a cancer. I will drop that in. I wish they would get rid of it because it's ruining society. But yeah, that's it. Just go out there, see the world, question everything. Do not believe what people tell you, just because there's a majority of them, and you're getting. And don't be afraid of getting bullied for having a different opinion. Question everything, because the whole world is. When you grow up, when you get to a certain age, you will realize that most of what everyone says is acceptable in society has been a lie from your childhood.